Assalamualaikum 10 class. In our previous lecture we have learned about function, its types and its advantages. Now we are going to start our new topic that is called as the signature of a function. So signature of a function is used to define inputs and outputs of a function. Here you see inputs are basically the values that we enter into the function, right? And output are the values that we get from the function, right? So inputs of a function are also called as parameters and output of the function is also called as return value. Now we see the general structure of a signature of a function. So here we are having the return type, the function name and the data types of parameters. Now here you see the return type means the output, right? So that is the data type of return value, right? And function name means the name of the function, which is also called as the function identifier or function header. And these are the data types of input, which is also called as parameters. So you see we can have more than one input in a function, right? So we see an example of it: int, square, int. Here you see int is the data type of return value, square is the name of the function, and int is basically the data type of parameter, right? And int largest, and there are three inputs in it. So as I explained it to you that a function can have more than one input in it, right? Now we see the program that contain function has two parts. So basically the function is having a two parts. Number one is the defining a function. Now basically the signature of a function does not describe how the function performs the task assigned to it, but the function definition shows how function perform a task assigned to it, right? So when we see it, return type, function name and the data types of parameters, and here is the body of the function. Now you know that body of the function is the set of statements which are executed in the function to perform the specified task, right? So second one is the calling a function. So it means to transfer the control to that particular function. When we are using a function in the program, so calling a function means we are transferring the control to that particular function, right? So these are the two parts of a function. Now we see example of it. Now here int add, int x and int y, right? So there is a function add in which we are transferring two variables x and y. These are the inputs, and int is the data type of that parameters, right? And int is basically the return type of output, means the return value. So here we are initializing a variable result. Result is equals to x plus y. We are adding these two variables. Here is the return result. Now the return is basically a keyword that is used to return a value to the calling function, right? So these are the parameters of the function int x and int y, right? And that is called as the add is basically the function name and int is the return type. And here inside the function return is a keyword that is used to return a value to the calling function, right? So now we see another example. Here we are using three variables n1, n2 and sum. Here you see basically we are using add as a function, okay? That is the name of the function add, and here are two variables x and y. Here we have to call that function, right? And it is also called as arguments of the function, right? So variable sum is declared to store the result returned to the function add, and the variables passed as arguments are not altered by the function, right? So the function makes a copy of the variable, right? As you see here, uh, means when n1 and n2 are passed, the function add copies these variables, okay? The variables x is the copy of n1 and the variable y is the copy of n2, right? So that is called as the function call. Here we are calling the function, right? and this is also called as the x and y is also called as function arguments. So basically the values passed to the function are called as the arguments, right? And the parameters, as I explained it to you, the variables in the function definition that receive those values are called as parameters, means the n1 and n2 are the parameters here.